Welcome, Coots and Toots, to the Angry Bird Pod Show. I'm your host, Kyle. Over, I can never remember, that way is Matt, and there's a gentleman in the middle of us today. So welcome, Richard, once again to the show.
Thank you. Good to be back.
I'm glad
to have you back. Yeah.
We've had a couple of returning guests now, which is far more than I ever thought was going to happen. So that's kind of neat. We used to do a segment called Storytime with Kyle, which is just me sort of telling a story that happened in my life for the past couple of weeks. And I kind of have a shitty one. It's a good one, sort of, but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go for it. So I think last pod, I alluded to the fact that I was getting a different car, and I had to send it in for a safety. Do they do safeties in England? Like when you buy a new car, does it have to get like safetied and stuff?
So, what, brand new or used?
Used.
Yeah, you have to have a valid MOT certificate every year.
Oh, okay. Every year?
To say it's roadworthy. So every year you have to get an MOT to make sure it's roadworthy, and it gets checked. If it fails, then you can't drive it on the road until it's fixed. Yeah.
Oh, crazy. It's a yearly thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think here it's just like the once, or if it changes ownership and stuff, it has to get. Anyway.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so took it to my mechanic, and I'm thinking, like, I don't know a ton about cars. I know enough, but like brakes kind of seem a little like they might need to be taken care of, that kind of stuff. Dude quotes me $5,000 for brakes, basically, because one of the brakes was seized, but really it was just yeah. But I was like, no, it's just the like adjustment post thing. So then I had this fight with the guy. Not a fight. I didn't fight him or anything, but I was like, this can't be $5,000. Like, I paid $8,000 for the car. Like, that's insane. And the person he was training was a woman, which is applicable to the story. And she had added a couple extra things onto the bill. So he was like, oh, we'll take those off. And then proceeded to talk to this person in the most condescending, like, mansplainy, shitty way ever. So I was just getting the super bad vibes from this dude. I should have known that I would get super bad vibes from this dude, because this mechanic usually only works on diesel big pickup trucks. So already, I think the vibes were off.
What are you saying, Kyle?
That big peep.
No, carry on. Before you get yourself in trouble. Don't clip it.
Don't clip it. So I decided never to go back to that shop, and took the car back, did the work that he said I needed to do myself. So it was like brakes, and then I unseized the calipers, because there's these like floating parts that allow the caliper to slide. Those were just kind of stuck. And then the way that we do the safeties now, it's like this government thing. So there's like a tablet with a program on it, so all it gets submitted to the government. So I thought I had to do all that stuff, even if I took it to a different mechanic to get it to pass. Take it to another mechanic, and he tells me, it looks good, but you need this control arm bushing. And when I was doing the brakes, I was like, that makes sense. I can see this bushing is worn. I spent 6 hours yesterday trying to take the lower control arms off with zero success. And me and my father-in-law got to the point where we were trying to pull the ball joint out, and we had this thing rigged up with it. My father-in-law's a mechanical engineer. So we had like a jack rigged up with a chain and this aluminum bar to put force on it a certain way to pop the ball joint. Couldn't get it. Put it back together, drove it back home, took it to the mechanic. I was like, I can't put the control arms on. Can you do it? He had it done in like 4 hours today. So long story short, car's going to get safety tomorrow. I'm going to drive it. Me and Matt are hopefully going to shoot birds on Sunday. Just bring it all back to birds. So I'm pumped. Get the new car going.
Go. Yeah, you were a little down in the dumps for a bit there.
What a story, though.
I shortened it. I could have definitely extended it, but I didn't think everyone wanted to listen to
5,000, though. I mean, just a nightmare, isn't it, really?
Yeah. I could think of so many other things I would want to spend $5,000 on than brakes.
I got quoted from a dealership $1,800 for brakes, and I did them with paying a friend to do them with me for $450.
Jeez.
Yep.
So, yeah, sometimes I just don't like mechanics because I get so frustrated, and I automatically think like it's broken forever if something can't come off.
Yep.
So
That was
I'm
me
just like, no, it's not
yesterday.
for me. It's not for me. It's not my speed. I like technology. I like mechanics and engineers. It's not my
Yeah.
thing. You guys can do it. Yeah.
No,
So
yeah.
good
Yeah.
on
So
you, Kyle.
they're bottomless pit cars. I mean,
They
yeah.
are. They're necessary, but they're not an investment. Let's just
No,
say that.
no.
Not these cars. Not a
No.
2016 Subaru Crosstrek. That's not an
No.
investment. That's
But
just
even if you
a-
could afford a car that doesn't depreciate value, you have enough money already. You don't need to worry about the investment.
This is true.
So it's not really ever an
yeah.
investment, I don't think. So
Yeah. Didn't we talk about this last time? Were we talking about
maybe
investments at the end?
we're partly a mechanical podcast now. So
I suppose so.
No, I don't think we talked about cars last time. I don't know if we
No.
did. No.
we've
No.
evolved quite a bit since then, I think.
Yes, you've done a lot
Yeah.
since then.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I don't know about a
Like,
lot. We've done
when
some.
were you on last, Richard? Do you remember?
7
I don't mean to
months
put you
ago.
on the spot. It was 7 months ago.
7
I
months.
looked
Wow.
at the Discord thing and it was like last time 7 months.
So
Jeez.
a lot probably has changed in 7 months, I would think.
Yeah.
You're really hitting the YouTube hard. I can see that.
Yeah,
Pumping out
although
a lot of content.
I'm actually just I've been doing quite a lot of collaborations with companies, and I don't always do them unless it kind of works for me and if it's decent, because I don't want to do any crap and then try to sort of justify it to people, because you just, what's the point? I've got to sort of, if I endorse it, I think it's good. If it's not, I won't do it. So I've been trying to get a lot of these out of the way at the moment, but I'm actually taking a little bit of a step back from YouTube and doing less now because I've got other projects on, and
Okay.
I'm just like, pushing out content every week is just too much. So I'm probably going to do one every other week or maybe once a month, focus on more of a quality content rather than kicking stuff out. But I've got, because I'm doing collaborations with companies, I've got deadlines and I have to do things at a certain time.
Sure.
So I'm just sort of clearing them out of the way, and then I'll probably do less and then focus. I want to focus on the stills photography more, because every week I go out and shoot a video for YouTube rather than going out and shooting stills for myself.
So there is a big difference, because I'm assuming, because I haven't really got into it myself because I get so tunnel vision focused on the photo side alone that I think maybe trying to create a video and capture more of what I'm doing would take too much time away from doing the photography. And I'm thinking that that is the census.
It's absolutely that. You're kind of forced to go out and make a video. If you can't do it in a day, you've got to do it over a period of a week or longer. And then you don't really work on like really good images because you're too busy farting around with mics, vlogging cameras, all that sort of stuff. When all you want to do is go out with a camera, an outfit, and go out and do the photography, get some decent stills. You can't always achieve that with a video. So it's kind of, it dilutes it a little, really. And I think I'm at the point now where I want to go out and concentrate on creating good images for myself and not be pressured into sort of, I mean, because to be honest, my social media, I don't put anything out that's really that great because it's more of what I see daily. I don't put all my decent stuff out on socials because I kind of keep it for myself, for comps and other stuff. But yeah, I think the YouTube thing is a bit of a drain, and it is good, and I really enjoy it, and I enjoy interaction. I enjoy doing the videos, but I'm a photographer shooting stills. I'm not a videographer, so I like to go and concentrate on capturing moments, looking at how I want to achieve a decent image rather than how am I going to deliver a video. Yeah, it's kind of.
Yep, no, it's fair. It
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because there's always something looming over my own, mind if it would take away from the experience. And it's nice to go back, I'm sure, and watch kind of your adventures again, because you did capture so much of it.
Yeah.
For your own self. That's one thing I don't have, because I haven't documented anything other than from behind the camera, in still form.
Yeah, I think when I leave Canada next year, and I was saying to my son, when you're on YouTube, unless you delete it, you're going to be on there for pretty much life. So I said to him, when I'm really old, I'll look back at these videos and go, it'll keep my memory going. And I'll look back going, oh, I remember that time in Canada for 3 years. Right. And it's just, I think for that, and you also can see where you started and where you've come and how old you look from when you started to where you are now. And it is good fun. But to be honest, the focus on YouTube now is, and I'm still a small channel, but the focus at the moment, they're plugging so much emphasis into new channels to really push small content creators like myself, but pretty much for people that are starting up. The algorithm's changed. Everything's changed. AI, keywords, thumbnails. Everybody puts stuff on thumbnails that are going to entice people in. Look, I broke my lens, or oh my God, I can't believe I saw that. And I'm not going to do that, because that's false advertising.
I'd rather just be honest. Look, I came home with shitty photos. Like that.
Exactly. And if
you don't get them every time,
people will watch it probably.
You don't get them every time.
But I scan through all the people I followed over the years, and I'm like, they've all changed the way they post. Not bird photography, birds of prey in the field or something. It's more like, oh my God, I can't believe the bald eagle did that. Or and you're just like, and when you watch it, it's kind of like, what did the bald eagle do?
Oh, it flew away.
Yeah, I mean, but it grabs the viewer, it gets the views, or they'll say at the beginning, you must watch till the end.
Watch to the end.
For my top tips, or for the big moment at the end, just to draw people out. And it's sometimes, for me, it's like misleading the viewer a little.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely. They're looking for watch times to keep you engaged, keep you to the end, of course.
And I'm not really going to do that. I don't think that's fair. Although, but trouble is, that's why I won't ever be like some people.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I'm just true to myself and do what feels right. But
the interesting thing I like about your videos specifically is you take the time, and it may be a 20 to 23, 25-minute video, but there's like a good 14, 15 minutes. For me, I appreciate this, of solid conversation, of just listening to you go on about what you're doing and what you're experiencing. And like, you don't get a lot of that. A lot of people try to go with a higher production value and less like output of what you're actually going to get out of it.
Yeah,
I do appreciate that you do that.
So. Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's nice to hear, because you don't always get it, because it's a bit of a cutthroat business, really. And I've been doing photography for a long time, but I haven't been doing YouTube really that long. I guess it's 6-7 years or something. You never really think. You think everybody who's into nature, wildlife, outdoors, everybody's quite chilled and it's all quite easygoing. But actually, the more you get into it, you really realize that it's like every man for himself. And it's kind of like, I really don't like that. And the social media engine's the same. It's like the AI and all that we've chatted about before, but it's just like the mass competition thing. It's just, I do it because I love doing it. The competition thing, just can't really be bothered with all that upmanship stuff. I just can't be doing with it.
I feel like I always have ideas that I want to do, and that concept keeps me from doing it, because I'm like, I'm not going to get the traction that guy is, even if it's a similar concept of video, or I have, say, a rebuttal or something, because I don't have a following to like go up against it. But I have these ideas like, oh, I think that opinion is wrong, or I think I could do that different, or I think this contrary thought to that guy. But I never make these videos because I'm like, I'm never gonna get my foot in the door kind of thing. And I don't know if that's a negative outlook.
I mean, I've noticed, obviously, your Instas and especially your shorebird stuff. You know, you guys. I mean, when you're always low, you've got the great light, especially with the loons and stuff. So you've created.
You're talking about Matt, not me.
Yeah, Matt.
Kyle.
Both of you. Both of you. I mean, it's like, the imagery you create, both of you really, but specifically like the shorebird stuff. You've got golden light, you've got some lovely images, shooting with, I think you're should be an ambassador for Canon with the shooting with the RF 800 f11, because that's just like, you've got some cracking images with that.
And I've sold it.
Have you?
Mm-hmm. It's one of these, I moved
love,
on
hate.
to try something else. Not love, hate. It's a $600 lens that I can pick up at any time. I just felt like I wanted to just try something different. And not to get on too much of a tangent, everything was kind of looking the same.
Mm-hmm.
And it was nice to maybe just have a slightly different perspective. And I'm just testing the waters on some other things. But I will probably own an 800 at some time.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you this before, Richard, but Matt wants to be referred to from this point forward as Bokeh King. He told me that the other day. I
didn't want to be referred. I was told that I am referred to as Bokeh King. That's all. This is not self-proclaimed,
That's
guys.
that's not a bad that's not a bad thing to have, really. Bokeh's the thing, isn't it? It's just
It's all the 135 f2. I can't
oh,
even, like that thing. Of course it's a portrait lens. Of course it's great for bokeh. Of course it has great clarity. But if you can get a species like a shorebird,
up close coming towards
that
you.
you can get 2 or 3 feet in front of you. I mean, that thing's going to do just as good as an 800 from 20 feet. So,
Absolutely, if not better,
you know,
probably. And
yeah,
that's the thing. And even with that, you don't always have to get up close and personal. Like we're all trying to say, you can't promote birds in environment or animals in environment too much on Instagram because it's too boxy. Everybody wants a picture up close. But with a lens like that, with the environment, it's kind of what a lovely lens, though.
oh, it's
And
gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
and it also forces you to work harder for an image as well.
Yes.
I mean, you got an eight. I mean, I got that 800 recently. It's ridiculously close up. But a good lens for many reasons, but sometimes it's a bit spoiled. I mean, I watched a Canon an ambassador talk about. She goes out with a 300 f2.8, which is a great lens, and she said she uses it. She shoots with it. If she's too far away, she doesn't take the shot. And if she's too close, she doesn't take the shot. The lens fits with what she's doing, and if it doesn't work, she won't do it. And I was like, that's really kind of cool. That spoilt for choice with lens choice, but actually go out with one lens and you find your shots with it. It's kind of, I think it's a good way of doing it rather than be spoiled
It's a
with.
great way.
You're
Yeah,
playing to Matt's heartstrings right now. That's his whole thing.
Yeah, because if your goal, I think, is to use something to understand where the sweet spot is and where it's
mm,
going to be, a positive experience and positive outcome with your photos, and you ignore all the other opportunities. That's why
yeah,
zooms, I think, have become so popular, because I think a lot of people believe that there's more opportunities just, you know, with laying down on the as he strokes his 200 800, laying down on the beach with a shorebird coming towards you, being able to zoom out wider
yeah,
and get a slightly different shot is, of course, that much better of an option than the 135. But you're looking for a specific photo and ignoring and letting all the other ones go when you select a lens like that.
yeah, exactly. That's the point. I mean, even with like bigger primes, 5, 6, 800 or whatever, you a lot of the time you haven't got a lot of work with there. If you unless you're in at hide based and you're waiting for something to come in on a certain location, um, you're almost too close. It's just like, yeah. Are you on your iced tea stuff again?
Yep.
I just opened it. I heard Kyle like a couple
I
minutes
was
ago.
trying to
I was like,
open
I
it.
gotta get
Yeah, I was like trying to find a spot to cut in to be like, "Oh, we're gonna have a drink now."
Are they sponsoring you yet or not?
Aha, no.
No.
But thanks for bringing that up, because hopefully one day.
Yeah. Clip
Damn
it.
it. Do you
The
know what?
reason you're on here,
I was going to
the
get
reason
a
you're
can
on here is so
tonight.
we can get more views.
I was going to get a can of that tonight, actually, but I just didn't get around to it.
Yeah,
We'll
all
have
good.
you on for a third time.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
just have to.
No
Hopefully,
problem.
I like it because I told you the story last time about my last time
Your
I had
ice-
iced tea. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the great stories I think that
One
we've
of the
had
great-
on
Crazy. I didn't expect it to go there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I mean,
Well, you-
it's really interesting what you're saying about the lenses, though. I mean, I can't. It's very easy to say. For me, I've got a lot of lenses, so I've got a lot of choice. But
Yeah.
but I try now to go out with one lens in mind. I mean, my favorite at the moment is like the 200 to 400 with the telly built in, which is a really good lens because you've got that focal range from 200 to 560,
Yeah.
and that you can shoot all day with that. If I went out with a 500 or an 800 or whatever, that's a bit too much. Sometimes you've got to move back. You're just a bit restricted, but having that zoom range is good, really. And I think, and that's another thing at the moment for me as well. I'm also losing the art of experimentation, really, with photography because I'm so focused on delivering a video and imagery. I've lost I'm losing the sort of the purpose of the art form behind it, of getting creative, looking for different elements of an image where something a bit different. Because, let's face it, everything on YouTube has been and on Instagram, Facebook, there's the angles are all getting covered. So it's kind of, where do you go? So you've got to find your own uniqueness with it. And I haven't got time to find that because I'm doing too much YouTube. So
No,
yeah,
it totally makes sense. Definitely. It seems like it's two separate hobbies to try to handle at the exact same time.
yeah. I've been talking at length with a good friend, Vince Maidens. You know Vince?
Oh yeah. Yep.
So I was
Listener of the show, super fan.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good lad, actually. And we talk quite a lot at length about lots of things, ethics and bits and bobs. But, I said to him about sort of slowing down on YouTube a little bit, still delivering, but not that often, and trying to find the art form again within your images. And, he totally agrees. To juggle both is impossible. You either need to do one or the other.
Yeah.
Because you can't really take insanely, generally good images if you're YouTubing all the time. You need to go out with your camera and do your research, go out there and find your shots rather than worry about, because it is a pain in the ass having to vlog, B-rolling and all that malarkey. You look ridiculous if someone watches you as well, because you're talking to yourself, you're walking up and down.
I was wondering, I've never actually come across anybody filming something like that, which is surprising. Although
Really?
I don't go to crazy. No, I never have.
Oh.
I've seen like girls doing like TikTok dances in the mall, but never like a wildlife person putting a video together. So I did have this vision of someone kind of talking to a camera or walking towards a tripod and a camera sitting on it, wondering what they're doing. And I haven't seen it yet, but I'd assume it was a pretty goofy sight.
It is funny. I mean, it's stupid. I mean, I did a video with a collab, a joint video with a chap in the UK called Espen Helland, who's a great friend and a photographer. And we did one up on for the Black Grouse Lek up in Scotland, and we sat on a mountain top and had a nice whiskey, and we were chatting and laughing about if you were to watch someone with a pair of binoculars or a camera from a distance to watch, and you'd be like, there's a vlogger, there's a YouTuber, because you're like just walking up, down, bag on your shoulder, looking away. It's like sometimes it's a bit daft, and you think to yourself, have I really got to walk to the camera, walk away from the camera? Because you're doing it all on your own. Because I haven't got Brent Hall, who's American. He's also
just dropping all the names, just every name.
Names. He's a top bloke, and he's got obviously camera lady is good lady. So it's quite cool for him. He's got someone there with him as well. But my son does help me sometimes, and I really like that.
Oh, that's cool.
So he does sort of follow me around a little bit, so it helps Dad out. But
you should drop some behind the scenes, because I guarantee you have some photos or videos, clips of you walking back to the camera with just like this disappointed look in your face. I gotta do this again. I guarantee you look through the footage and you're like, look at how disappointed I am.
Yeah, I do try to
I'm over this.
I do try to keep some like the bloopers thing back every year. Because I always go out and I'm like generally, and I said to my wife the other day, I'm always going, and when I go out and shoot and what I do, that is me. I'm not trying to pretend to be someone else. I kind of, but I'm always so positive generally and so happy being out in nature that there's not drama moments with me. Like, I'm pissed off. I haven't got the shot, and that's generally because I don't have to come back with an image. I'm out in nature. It doesn't really matter to me. But I think that would make for better videos if you're a bit more traumatic, like you had a lens accident, or you fell in mud, you tripped over, and I think that makes for good TV and good videos. But I'm not really like. I'm generally not clumsy, and I don't really do all that.
You're not clumsy enough. Yeah.
Maybe that's why I need to film myself, because I am clumsy. So I'm sure someone filming me could get all sorts of good footage.
People love that. I mean, I was supposed to go on, the Born to Survive and survival programs where you get thrown in the wilderness and alone and things like that. I was supposed to go on one of those.
Naked and Afraid, wasn't it?
I got interviewed and stuff, and to go on one and be thrown out. It was actually, I think it was one in Canada when I was in the UK.
Oh, cool.
And I did the interview and stuff, and there just wasn't enough about me that was sort of made good TV. I was kind of like just the grey man with a background as well in survival. I think it was I was too safe, and I wouldn't have made good TV. You need to have a real story, like you're up against it, or I don't know, something.
You weren't too exciting, and you weren't too angering. You know what I mean?
No, I just wasn't. Yeah. And we watch it because my son really likes it, and we watched the one recently in Africa. And I mean, he put some people on there that probably shouldn't be there, and that's why they're there, because it makes good TV.
Sure.
I just too much of a safe bet, I think.
Do you know who Les Stroud is?
Yeah, I know the name. Yeah,
Survivor Man. He's a popular show here. He's almost what you're talking about, though. Like, he's not boring, but he's not Bear Grylls. So so Les will like show you what to do, and it's calm, and he's never panicked. He never hits his finger with a hammer or anything when he's doing stuff. But he did all his own filming too, so he's doing the walking forth and back. And he talked about how like all his trips take 2 to 3 times as long because he's setting up the camera, walking out to get the distance shot, walking all the way back to get the camera, then back to where he just was. And like he's but he's got that calm demeanor. So I think there's an audience for both, but I don't think that
I think so too.
I don't think that has as much of an audience for whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe not for like primetime cable, but like if you're looking for that niche person, like there's definitely a handful, a big population of people that are that gravitate towards that.
Yeah, I think, and then people say, you know, it sort of pushes you towards, but you never want to change the way you do things and be someone you're not. You've got to be kind of true to yourself, the way you do it. I'm not going to start magicking up, you know, tripping over and dropping a lens or doing something daft because just to make good viewing and people want to see that. I just don't see the point. It's I just do what I do without trying to be anybody else. Really, is
I could pretend to drop this. It's just a
Ooh.
mug, but it looks like a
It's a mug.
24 to 100. Yeah.
We used
Like,
to call that a sellout, I believe, in the 90s.
Right.
Selling out, wasn't it? When you would just do something to gain something from it, not really be yourself. Yeah.
Richard,
if you're into skateboarding.
I'm too
You
safe.
just explained you're not trying to do that with all your collabs with products and companies and stuff. You're not trying to be a sellout. You're just trying to.
No, I mean,
cool stuff.
Yeah, that's different. That's
a lot of people like the collabs.
I would hope
things.
you're aligning to things that you have an interest in. You're not just like taking everything, right? Like you got.
No, it's one of those things. I mean, I have, and there's also, I've done stuff for companies, but there's been so many other YouTubers that do them. So when you start to sort of flood the market on YouTube with a particular monitor or a bag or whatever, you know, it's too much out there. It dilutes it, and you just don't get the views. And I think for me, and I get probably a week. I probably get at least 7 to 10 collab invites a week, and there's a lot of scams out there as well at the moment. And there's lots of complete crap as well. I mean, stuff that you just wouldn't last 2 minutes. And there's no way in the world you're going to put, you know, I mean, I see some YouTubers jumping on everything, and it's kind of like, man, have some credibility, you know, don't go jumping on everything. I mean, these trail cams are the prime example. There's some absolute shower of crappy stuff out there that's it just doesn't last. And as soon as you put your name to something that doesn't work and it is crap, then your credibility dies overnight. So for me, if I use it, I like it, and I'll do a video. But sometimes I have taken products in the past where I've got it and thought that is crap, and I've sent it back and said I'm not doing it, purely for that reason. And most of the time they say, "I'll just keep it," and I've never used it. But I don't do that anymore. I have to research a product. I have to look at it. I do look at reviews as well. I look at the company, the background. Would it work for me? And if it works for me and I can use it, then I can do a video on it. And if it's like if you also see something you want to buy and you don't have the money at the time, you approach the company and say, "Would you like to do this?" And we work together. And then and they don't always go for it. But sometimes they do. Yeah.
We tried it with sunglasses, right?
We did.
With Too Savage. We did. We took our shot. But we took our shot.
I just thought of an idea that maybe we can work together on. What if you send me all the crap? And because I have no following and no like name really, I'll go out and prove how shit it is. So it'll be like the opposite of a review. Like, don't buy this one because it's bad.
Yeah,
You'd actually be good at that.
I think so. I think that might work.
There's a market there, but the trouble is, a lot of these companies as well, they'll get you to sign a contract, and you're not allowed to say anything against them or their product. And if you do,
they're sending them to you. And if you send it to me, I'm not on that contract.
Well, I let my buddy Kyle try it out.
That is a good point. That is a good point. But I mean, yeah, and
this will work like 4 times.
I have to amend the contracts. Then I'm like, you know. No, I'm not.
No,
if I've got something bad to say, I'll speak to them first, and I'll either not do it or I'll say, "Look, I didn't like this, this, and this."
Have you done that?
Yeah. Have I disliked something
and told them why?
Yeah. Well,
you don't have to name the product.
No. I have done. I have done twice, but I've been bitten a few times, and I've decided that I'm so careful now, because these contracts, they do get you a bit, and you got to be careful. I mean, so you just don't want to put yourself in a way that you're going to get sued, or because they do state in there that you could be liable to pay X amount of $1,000 and stuff if you release the video early, you say anything derogatory about the product before the release date of the product, and or whatever, and they got you then, and you'll be in trouble. So you've got to be a little bit careful. And if you've got money exchanging hands as well, you've got to be careful there. But
that sounds like their MO, really, is how people slip up and then they can make some money off passing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just a bit cautious, but I think I've done more probably reviews and stuff than I've liked in Canada because of where I am, because I haven't got what I'm doing, obviously tours and stuff with a company from the UK, but not often enough at the moment. When I go back to the UK, I'll sort of resurrect my business, and then I'll probably do less YouTube, less collaborations, and focus on what really matters, because I've got a lot to do when I get home. So it's just, it fits while I'm in Canada because I'm not getting around as much. So yeah,
for sure.
I've done one collab, but it wasn't in bird photography really at all. I don't know, I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but I got into photography shooting like knives and flashlights and pens and like kind of product stuff like that. And have you guys heard of the company Mass Drop, or it's Drop now?
No, I haven't.
They're a drop shipping company. So actually there's a pair of headphones back there they sell, but that's not what I was talking about. But basically they have a run of something. So they'll say like, so many people sign up for X product, and then they'll know like, oh, we can probably sell X amount of these. So they'll order X amount of those and then sell them. But they were working with this knife designer, and I get this email, or I think it was an Instagram message. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like someone's going to send me a knife, like whatever. And they're like, yeah, we'll send you this one. It's like the highest end one. It's like carbon fiber. It's got mokutai, which is this like fancy, cool looking material. And I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. So I gave him like the address of a post office, because I was like, I'll just pick it up from there. Like, I'm not going to give them my home address. And then like the package delivered one day. I'm like, yeah, sure. It's going to be like, whatever. I open it up. It's this freaking sweet knife. I was like, that's dope. And they wanted like two posts about it. And like, it wasn't even that tough of a contract. It was just like 2 posts with these hashtags this far apart. And I was like,
yeah,
can do. And I sold that knife later, and I kind of regret it now, because that was like the only time that someone's ever sent me something to post out there, and it was kind of fun.
And it's gone.
I would do it again. Wink, wink.
Wink.
Companies out there.
Yeah, it's certainly. I think it's when it's a good earner as well, because then you used to do stuff for free, and then you suddenly get the chance to get payment as well, which is good, and as well as the product. So, but then a lot of people don't like. If you do put a video out and it's a collaboration and this is a paid collab, people don't like it. They get a bit sort of thumbs downy, and they get a bit sort of negative, but because they think, oh, you're just taking everything. But I only like to sort of do videos that I don't think I've actually done a video on something that I didn't really like. I sort of either pulled it, or I didn't accept it or whatever. But yeah.
I mean, it seems like a lot of work to put into something that you're not passionate about, right? So it's got to be something you're interested in.
And when you really are stoked about something and you really do like it, I mean, I've got a product on the way to me at the moment, and it's probably my final review for a while, and kind of looking forward to that one, and that's going to be pretty good. So, and it would fit my purpose for what I need at the moment, which is good. But then after that, as I say, I'm going to sort of take a bit of a back step, really, and just looking quite excited about the art of, because it doesn't sort of dilute my sort of job and my sort of interest outside of work. Photography is always there, wildlife, nature is always there. It's just I want to sort of redefine what I'm going to do and where I'm going to go, rather than just because I chat with quite a lot of YouTubers, and everybody feels the same. It's always post, it's always video release, it's always thumbnails, titles, hashtags, all this sort of stuff, and you're doing research on the best times to promote and post, and it's just like, it's a job, but it's just wearing as well.
And you feel like you probably have to do it because everyone else is kind of doing it in a way. You feel obligated to, because then you're not putting your full effort into it when everybody else is doing that.
And if you mess up and you change the algorithm by, I used to post every Sunday, I changed it then to Saturday, and then it just the algorithm went sort of bazzy quack, and then it just like threw me out, and then I didn't get hardly any views, and then I suddenly did a string of very few people on my channel like watching like trail cam Tuesdays that I do, which is just basically footage from trail cams over the. And there's quite some hardcore trail cameras out there that are like that. But because you suddenly bring out 2 or 3 videos that get less than 1,000 views, and you're usually getting videos between, I don't know, 2, 5, 8, whatever thousand, suddenly the algorithm goes, hang on a minute, he's had this views, gone up this much, the revenue's there, and suddenly you've bought a video out that's gone down there, and you've bought another one out which is low. Then they pull the plug on you, and then they're not going to promote your videos because your views are down and they've gone dramatically down. So unless you promote all the time to get people's attention,
Yeah, you're never
then
gonna win.
they'll just see you right off, and unfortunately you pay the price for it.
Yeah,
But
so it
I'm not.
almost seems like, yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, but please.
I was just gonna say it almost seems like people are just forced to do this to stay in the pocket.
Mm.
It's not like anybody probably wants to do it. Some do it better than others. Others don't really care the extra work. But it seems like everyone's just kind of just expected to play that game to stay in that pocket or be relevant.
Yeah.
That's why this podcast's never going to be big, because we don't do that. Like,
Or
I've
you
thought,
want-
should I make ridiculous thumbnails and be like, wow, you never know what happened.
There's something to being organic, and like,
Yeah.
even though year 1 is sloppy and year 2's just as sloppy, year 5 might not be, and it's just
Yeah.
organically you'll get better over time. And I don't know if podcasts are presented the same way. There's got to be some sort of algorithm. I don't think many people understand the podcast algorithm. At
Yeah, I'm
least
not sure
me.
because I think podcasts are certainly getting very popular.
Oh, for sure. But
There's
like,
quite
Are
a
they
few
getting
in-
popular, or are they already popular? Because I
Oh,
feel
they're
like we're on the downslope. Like, I don't know
don't
why.
know,
I
I-
just feel like came in late.
There's quite a few from. I've realised recently, and I didn't know. I've been seeing quite a lot pop up on my feed on Instagram. That there's a few other podcasts who follow me, and I follow them now. There's a group of ladies.
How
who
dare
do,
you?
there's a group of ladies who do a great podcast, and there's some American chaps as well doing some podcasts. And it just seems to, I don't know, because I look at the feed, then I'm seeing more. But there seems to be, maybe that's what it is, because you know the AI, the algorithmic thing, the way it works. You look at something, and the next minute you talk about
start
something,
to
and then
see
it's
it
on
all.
your feed.
Yeah.
The algorithm, I think, is just Exhibit from Pimp My Ride. There's like,
Yeah.
oh, you liked fish tanks? Well, I'm going to put a fish tank in your car, and there's a fish tank. And it just like feeds you the same thing over and over. You're like, I have nuanced opinions, okay?
I was talking to Vince about this just today, about having more wildlife podcasts in the kind of community that we have, so we can have like more conversations together and have a circuit and kind of every year kind of go on each other's, and you know what I mean? It's something that definitely is missing, and maybe more people are jumping on board, and you are starting to actually see some newer ones, or you know.
I think it's
Networking.
really, I think they're really good. I think people can sit back, pair of headphones, whatever they're doing on a bike, and they can listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
Don't always have to see it visually, and I know Vince, he likes podcasts quite a lot, and it's something I don't really listen enough of because I haven't got the time most of the time.
Sure.
But I do like them, and there's some other people in the UK that are doing them now, quite a few, and they all seem to be gaining popularity, and I think it's really good. Especially, doesn't matter if you're a man or woman or whatever, you're doing it. I think it's just good to talk, people getting together, like-minded interests, sharing their views, talking about things like mental health, talking about nature, lenses, technology, whatever, AI. I think it's really good, and I think for me, I'm going to start to catch up on a few of yours as well because I'm a bit behind.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's okay.
I found that like group chats got really, really popular at a time, and it was a lot of texting, and you know what I mean, multiple people in group chats. Whereas, yeah, maybe there is a market that's showing up for wildlife photographers to speak more on a, you know, it almost feels like we're together. It's a little bit easier to communicate this way than it is in
You need a hug?
a group chat. Yeah, virtual hugs, all that stuff. I
It's
think it's
not.
great. I think it's a better way to communicate. It's an easier way to get a point across, or you know, a suggestion or an idea.
Yeah, yeah, it's
What
much
else?
better. It's always say it's good to talk, and it's better than putting a post on socials, and then you can't get much from that, you know. But if you could talk, and then you can gauge the person and what they're up to, you can get much more of an idea. So I think for me, yeah, I mean, I certainly wouldn't create one myself, but I certainly enjoy being on them. I think it's
You're
good
welcome
fun, and
anytime.
it's a bit of a laugh as well, isn't it? It's kind of
It's great. It is great. You know, everybody we've had on it, even Kyle included, like we've all met via social
What do you mean,
media in
even me
some
included?
way. No, we've met in
Oh,
social media in some way. Like most people in my life now are from people that I've met with this common interest. And that's kind of cool. It's just nicer to bring it to a different,
because you can kind of see yourself in other people in regards to what your interests are and where you're coming from. Because I mean, we chat on and we got harp on about ethics all the time, and it's always it's a big contentious thing these days. These days it's like ethical, unethical, in between, don't know what to do. If you promote ethics and other people think you're on a pedestal and you're some sort of elitist or something, but you're not. It's where you and I did a blog the other day just to voice the way I felt about the way it's going with baiting and ethics, just because I felt that some people didn't understand where I was coming from. They think it was just like my opinion, thinking I know better than anybody, which I don't. It's just my personal opinion. Wow, I think it works, and hoping people will read that and go, actually, there is some truth in that, but it might not be 100%. It's just how I feel. So I think a lot of those things for me, it's just good to talk. I mean, because the ethics thing is massive now, and there seems to be a lot of people doing it, not necessarily the ethical way. And I think I'm a tiny, tiny fish in a very, very big pond.
Yeah.
But I've got a very good group of people that do follow me just purely for ethics. But then there's also a greater following of other people following other people who aren't so. And everybody wants to do the easy route. They want to get the easy way without doing all the groundwork. And I think for me, it's a shame because they're missing out on the fundamental part of it, is that excitement piece of getting from A to B, and taking your time to do it rather than just going straight there and getting results. It's hard to explain, but I think if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
I think I was just thinking while you're saying that, I wonder if like a vloggy, like you can fake anything on the internet, but I wonder if a vloggy type of bird photography video is better than like a really set up one just to show ethics. Because they say you have a tripod over there set up with you on a beach, like laying down, you can see, maybe depending on the shot setup, how close the birds are naturally coming to you while you're laying down, or how far you are actually away from them. And rather than showing like a POV, because angles of view get kind of skewed, or just like faking like these close shots because you don't necessarily show how you got those shots.
No.
So I think it's good to show what you mean when you're talking about being ethical and shooting them, rather than just the like, look, I got the shot, and really you stapled a bird to a 2x4 and just stuck it in the tree, and you're like, hey, kind of thing.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's a good to fully explain it. I think it's quite difficult sometimes if you're a lone ranger doing your videos, because it's not always easy to do it. And then, I mean, if I'm going out to shoot any wildlife, it's kind of always the welfare first. So it's kind of like, right, I want to get that shot. I want to get to that bird or that mammal. Best way of getting there without disturbance, and then knowing when you've had enough, when you're overstepping it. Because let's face it, we're not whiter than white, as in regards to we're not perfect. We make mistakes, and that's the whole point of it, is how you move forward to make sure those mistakes don't happen again, and you learn. I mean, I've never actually physically baited with any dead mammals or anything, or any birds or nothing to elicit an image. But we've all put peanuts and seed up in the garden, taking pictures of birds. But there's this very fine balance of people think, well, and effectively it is true. People say, what's the difference in baiting a bird of prey or a mammal with dead stuff, and then putting seed and peanuts up? You're still feeding the birds and you're still baiting. So effectively it's the same thing, really. Although there is lots of other subtle differences there and some big ones. But it's just, I guess, but it's a good point. I think the ethics thing, I think the video and ethics would be a really good thing to do. I think really to explain to people where you're coming from, rather than just putting a post out saying this was shot non-baited, all that sort of stuff. It's something worth looking at, really. Yeah.
If that video does well, I get credit for it. Just saying.
Yeah, good shout.
You know what's a really good way of getting non-ethical, or no, sorry, getting ethical shots of things is having a big old honking lens, something like an 800 or so. Now, me and you are members of the 800 club still. Matt is no longer part of that club. So like
Left
we
it.
can, yeah, he left. He was like, this is too easy. I don't know. I got to try harder. I want to shoot 35 now.
That's hardcore. So I'll have to. You ever put in your Insta posts is what you shot with? I know you're not into big descriptions, but
That's all I ever put in is
yeah,
bird species in just the English non-scientific form, and the camera I shot with
yeah,
Mhm.
sure.
the
It's always
lens
the same one.
body combo.
You say that because actually, yeah,
I go through spurts where you'll see like 30 photos just of the same lens, same combo. I like to push it as far as I can and learn it as much as possible. And a lot of the times you guys see the results. So, I mean,
I think
whether
you've
they're
done
good or not.
incredibly well. I mean, your loon, is it your loon stuff?
I've done some loon stuff, yeah, via
Yeah,
kayak. A lot
yeah,
of that is with 800, which is
yeah.
it's a
It's
nice
just,
working distance out there.
I mean, people don't think that lens is sharp. Then it's in the right hands, isn't it? I guess
Uh, it
on a
yeah,
kayak
I
as
think
well. It's kind of like
yeah, 100%. I think there's like if you wanted to compare your 5.6 to that f11 and on a micro scale and say is it sharp, it's yours is sharper.
yeah.
But on
It
Instagram,
damn
On
well better
Instagram,
be for sure.
the
but
eye
you wouldn't
is
know the
like,
difference.
whew,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. And that's what I'm getting out of the 135. But like now I'm in the so when I was shooting the 800, it was like, yeah, that's passable on Instagram. And then I post it and everyone's like, oh, nice. And then now when I post a 135, I'm like, that's gorgeous on my computer. And now I post it to Instagram and I'm like, this is bullshit. It doesn't look like what it's supposed to. So
yeah,
it's helped me at times and now it's
yeah,
hindered me at times via just based on high quality imaging that I'm seeing on a monitor versus a
yeah.
5-inch
I mean,
screen.
with that lens though, I mean, I didn't realize and I didn't intentionally get close, but I've never really done an awful lot of kayaking up in the lakes here. But I've recently went from the summer with loons on a lake with a couple of
Mhm.
young, and they were coming in so close to me.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I was like, oh my god, and they weren't even bothered. I just sit, chill out, and
Yeah.
with a lens like that, you really can get close shots because I mean they came so
Yeah.
close. I was a very favourite bird of mine,
Yeah.
and
Agreed.
they are
Same.
stunning. Yeah, and
Who
you're
doesn't
right
like a
there.
loon?
I don't know who doesn't like a loon. I think I don't want to call him out, but I'm going to. Screw it. I
Do it.
think Shay tried to convince everyone in the group that grebes were better than loons, but I think he was just pulling my chain.
They're not better, but
Not
grebes are
better.
still
But
I
they're
sick.
not.
mean,
But they're
the,
not much worse. But they're definitely
No,
not better.
the
correct.
story behind the loon. I just got to make sure when I go back to the UK that I don't call it a loon
Oh yeah. Yep.
because I'll
Yeah.
be in
It's
trouble.
the black
Yeah,
something diver.
great northern
Divers.
diver. Yeah, great northern diver.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Great northern
They
yeah.
are
diver.
So
great.
That's right.
yeah, I mean,
And
I
they are
realised
northern and they
I
dive.
went out the other day and I was doing a video, and I was completely. I was taking some images and some video of a red-tailed hawk, and I realised when I was vlogging that I was calling it a buzzard. I was like, oh, because it's a
Yeah.
buteo. It's we called
Yeah.
it buzzard, and I
Yep.
was like, oh, great. Scrub around that one then for the
That's all right.
entire time
I
calling
know.
it a buzzard.
I at least know what you're saying.
You're officially
I know
Canadian
what you're
now.
saying.
But
Speaking of the loons, I've actually had experience with my friend Keith that another adult male had entered the lake with two parents and two twins, like two babies, and the parents left the loons, the baby loons, right beside us in the kayak, and
no
then
way.
went to go greet. Yeah, because I guess fish assume that the vessel they'll stay away from it. We're making a tiny
Safety.
bit of
Yeah.
noise. It's a form of safety. And for about 45 minutes, the babies literally just sat right
No way.
between us, basically, and slept the whole
That
time
is
they were
so.
gone. And then they
That
just
is
came
so.
back.
That
Like,
is so cool.
yeah. And
It's
apparently they've been known to do this. It was quite the experience.
that's trust. That is. I mean, it's like when people. I don't know what it's like with puffins here, but puffins back in the UK associate humans with being protection because obviously
Hmm.
things like skuas and or bonksies they call them and other birds won't take um, the puffins when they're close to humans. So they associate you with safety, so they're right next to you. And it's interesting with loons, like you say, on a lake, busy summer, lots of people on cottages on the lakes. I guess they associate that with safety, and then you get a bold eagle. A few bold eagles come overhead, and the loons just go berserk. It's
Yeah.
Hmm.
absolutely insane. I
Yeah.
was like, this is incredible. And the alarm call goes up and the flat profile of the young on the water. And I was just like,
Yeah.
wow.
I
They
love when they do
pancake
that.
right out,
They
don't they?
squash
Yeah,
way down. They're like, nope.
so
Have you
low.
have you ever heard the story, Richard? I think it happened up on Buckhorn Lake, which is just north of like Peterborough, um, of this individual that had watched a bald eagle dive for a full size adult loon, and there was a quick little skirmish, and then the bald eagle flew off and landed on the shoreline, and the kayaker or whatever went over to go see what happened, and the eagle was there, and it had a hole in its chest, and it had pierced its heart.
No
So
way.
the loon had actually protected
Hell
itself
yeah,
from it.
loon. I
Yeah.
like loons
Yeah,
more now.
there's a blog on there on some Kawartha site of
I
this guy
I
that
did
experienced this.
I did Google confrontations, and there is evidence, and it's probably that situation where
Okay.
that boldies have succumbed to attacks from loons. I mean, that
Yeah.
bill's pretty daggery,
It
Hmm.
absolutely is.
and they've actually killed them. Yeah, so I think young are quite easy pickings, maybe, but the
Yeah,
adults, I mean, they're big birds and they're heavy.
they are.
A lot
A
of
lot of
people
power
who
there.
don't. Yeah, a lot of people who I've talked about loons before because like they come up. I talk about birds all the time. A lot of people like have cottages or go up to someone's cottage. They hear a loon. They see a loon. When you see them close, you're like, this thing is huge. Like they're a
Huge.
big bird.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite things I've ever seen was at a lake in Algonquin. Me and my dad fishing a long time ago. A loon swam under our canoe, and we could easily see the bottom. So it was like maybe 6-7 feet deep. And I'm just like, my first thought is that's a penguin, and then I'm like, no, that's obviously not. But you're like, that's so cool to see because they look so comfortable down there, and they're like,
Yeah.
that's clearly what they're for. And like they're just majestic. Like everything about a loon is majestic. They're tough. They're taking
Yeah.
out bald eagles. They look like they're in a tuxedo all the time. They have that
Yeah,
call that literally everyone
maybe
knows.
they are northern penguins.
Well,
Maybe you're right.
I
Maybe you're
guess
right.
I
Maybe
mean, they
they
can.
penguinish.
feed.
I think they can fly at like 70 miles an hour, and they can dive
Oh
for
yeah.
like really deep. I think hundreds of
Hmm.
feet. I think and they could dive for quite a while. So it's just.
Yeah.
I think there's more to the island. That I've bought several books on loons since I've been here, and just to research them because I like to do that. At least subject
Mhm.
knowledge is all good, but they're
Hmm.
just. I think there's just it's not just the loon. There's a lot to the loons, especially when you look at the history, especially Algonquin and all the First Nations of how they see loons and what they mean to them, and just the whole history of them. It's incredible, really. Um, yeah, it's such a fascinating bird, really, and to get them on
I got.
On a Canadian lake in the mist
Yeah.
in the morning, amazing.
I was gonna say. I think I brought this up with me and Matt individually, but I'll ask you a question too. But I think you just answered it. To you, is a loon call relaxing or stressful? Because I've heard both.
Oh, relaxing, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Because you just nailed it. The misty
The
morning,
most
you got your
relaxing.
coffee on the dock,
Yeah.
you hear it way
man.
out. But I think like it's been used in like scary type tense movie soundtracks and stuff as just kind of
Mm.
like an eerie backgroundy thing.
Haunting. Yeah.
But I think it's from people who haven't heard it in that setting of like steamy coffee in the morning on a
Yeah.
Muskoka chair.
I mean, they've got quite unique vocalizations. I think they do other different calls, but I think
Mm-hmm.
but that actual sort of eeriness on the lake, misty morning, I think to me is like wow. It's like you really relax when you hear that. I mean, it's one of those. It's just beautiful, really. And to you know,
Mm-hmm.
when I was back in the UK and I hadn't really been to Canada and witnessed it on the lakes, you do it was something that'll never leave me, really. That and wolves. I think when I was in Algonquin recently, I think they're up there with the best calls I've ever heard. I mean, the loons and the wolf calls was just
Mm-hmm.
incredible. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah.
The divers of Europe. Have you photographed them at all? Much? Is the
We can never,
experience the
you can never
same?
get close. No,
That's what
you
I was
get the
wondering.
reds, you get,
Okay.
so you get this, but obviously all loons, but you just don't. They spend a lot of time out in the Atlantic at sea. Obviously, in the winter, they don't come back to breed for many years till they reach sexual maturity. So they spend a lot of time at
Mm.
sea. And to
Mm-hmm.
photograph them on locks up in Scotland, you can, but they're quite remote and they're very, very sensitive. Like, no way would you get close to them like you do in Canada. You see them out at sea with scopes. Um, and it's always a big bird. People really enjoy Pacific divers as well, and lots of others. So, but yeah, you just wouldn't get the close proximity shots, especially for No Way. Yeah.
I don't remember seeing many photos of the divers like from Europe, so that's
No.
kind of why it kind of sparked me to ask. Okay.
Yeah, they're quite they're always away from us, really. They're always out at sea, and if they do breed, they're in remote locks in Scotland and other parts of Europe. But yeah, they're just a fascinating bird, really. Absolutely, yeah. That's certainly one thing will stay with me when I go back. That and wolves.
Yeah, me and my buddy Craig were camping last year, or the year before, and we were actually packed up and leaving, so we're canoeing out of there, and there was a loon that was coming like perpendicular to where I was traveling. We were traveling in the canoe. And when you're coming up to like a merge lane in a car and one of you is kind of like, no, I'm going to be in front. The other one's like, no, I'm going to be in front. We had this sort of standoff with this loon because it clearly wanted to go in front of us, but we were going this way. And I was like, well, he'll probably just like dive or whatever. But like we came really close to running over this loon. And I was like, that's too confident for both of us. Like, what are we doing here? Like one of us should have yielded. And I don't know who's got the right of way in the middle of a lake versus a loon, but I think I should have happily given him the right of way.
Yeah. A lot of my favorite species come from how cooperative they are.
Yeah.
Like I love shorebirds because of how cooperative they are. I love loons. It's the experiences that have grown on me.
Yeah.
I've never really connected with red-tailed hawks or butos, as you said, because they're just pricks. I love them, but I just don't connect on the same level because of how much assholes they are.
I do like some of the shorebirds, and I think I hear like solitary sandpipers you get, and when you look at the background and where they breed, they don't really see connection with man either. So a lot of the birds are up in the tundra and stuff doing the thing. They just don't see us as a threat. And like you say, when you're lying on the shingle, pebble, sand, and you got a wader that's coming up to you, and it's just like trusting you, and it's not bothered. I mean, it's like it's a lovely feeling to have. But
I've had them walk over my hand, Richard. Like
no way, yeah,
yeah, like little inches from my
little
face.
plovers
like
and stuff.
Little peeps, little plovers, little sandpipers. Yeah, great little birds.
And they're so small as well.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Like I was using a 35 at one time, and they were right up against the lens, and it's still like a least sandpiper still seems small. Like I'd need to get right up against the glass. Like,
yeah.
I was shooting a least a couple weeks ago, and I had a killdeer in the background, which aren't big, but like you see this little, like it's even in the foreground, and there's a Boca E killdeer in the background towering over this little least sandpiper. So I like that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff I like, because getting something that somebody knows, like a normie, not a bird person, and then like, oh, I know a killdeer. Those things that run around making all the noise in the parking lots. And then you're with this little least sandpiper, and you're like, that thing is like a cotton ball.
They come in a smaller pint size form too. Like,
everyone at work was like, is that the baby? And I was like, nah. These things have
Merlin.
They come in Merlin Falcon size, and they come in Peregrine size.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's different snack sizes.
They're so small. I mean, that's one thing I have seen since I've been in Canada as well. Is some very, very good photographers. In fact, a guy I've forgotten his name now. He's from Toronto actually, and he's particularly good with shorebirds, and he's got some absolutely fantastic images. Certainly with that golden light.
Was his name Alex?
Alex. Yeah.
Alex
yeah, we know him.
Master.
Sorry, Alex.
Call him Shorb Jesus at one time.
If he does listen, sorry, I forgot your name, because we do follow each other, and I have spoke to him a few times. The name escaped me, but he's got some incredibly good images of shorebirds.
A lot of those images are with that infamous 800-5.6. Yeah,
and the 2-4. He used to love the 2-4.
Yeah, the 2-4 and the 800-5.6 are the ones. They were his.
Yeah, and I like his style of photography as well, the way he shoots as well, because he doesn't always restrict it close up. It's very much environment as well. It's
extremely technical, but with an artistic spin.
Yeah.
Like he's extremely technical with his photography. That's one thing I will never take away from him. But it's always an artistic edge to it as well. Like a lot of people can only do one or the other. Yeah, but he just does both so well, in my opinion.
And that's the thing, when you look at other people's work, and you know that, certainly when I was saying about doing YouTube, you haven't got time. It's sad, really, but you haven't got time to to find that project, to find that angle, to find the light, to get everything right. it's because you're always thinking about the next bit. It's nice to think that, certainly for me, going back to one a month, video a month, then I can concentrate on finding my own style again, where I want to do things a bit different. Because we're always trying to find something different, and I think for me that's a good thing to do. And looking at other people, like his work, it's particularly inspirational. Really, I think.
Yeah.
Certainly
Don't give him too much credit.
Yeah, it's gonna go to his head.
Just a little. Does he watch?
With a YouTube, he may.
He used to be very active in our WhatsApp group where we kind of became
closer.
Okay. And he's sort of the reason that this podcast exists, because he had a podcast that had 8 episodes, and we were like, we could do more than 8 episodes.
If we do 9, we did better than Alex.
Yeah. So we're winning in the podcast department, but he's got us our numbers for the photography part, so that's fine.
Yeah.
You guys are doing all right now, aren't you?
Oh, it's going great. It's going fine. Yeah. We have a great time.
Best part of my week.
It's
You say 9?
It's where we get to catch up. No.
They said 9 people.
We get to have people like you on that we've met, through social media and are making a presence. And we enjoy it. It's great.
Have you
more people do it? So
yeah. Have you spoke to Vince and said about coming on?
We have not spoke. I've not spoke to Vince about coming. Well, I have, but we haven't set it up. But I also know that he has a little bit of news too that I don't want to spoil. So
okay,
there might be a lot more coming. We'll see.
Because I did say to him, you ought to, and he said he was keen. So I've just landed a minute there. But
Matt's the social media manager, so he does all the reaching out and talking to people. I just fuck up the computer shit at the beginning.
So Vince, if I haven't asked you yet, that's on me.
Yeah, he's a good man, is Vince. I'm looking forward to catching up when I get back to the UK. I did meet up with him when I was in Toronto, actually, and yeah, we had a beer or two, so it was good.
Awesome.
Or 3 or 4.
Speaking of your videos, quickly, do you have a favorite video that is your personal favorite that you're proud of? Like out of all of them, you've put quite a few up there.
Yeah, I just now trying to think. To be fair, every one that I actually like is always the one that doesn't do very well.
Why is that true? It drives me crazy.
Yeah, it's just like if you put an image out as well, it's just. I think for me, what, in Canada or in
just in your library. What's that video that you always kind of go back to and maybe sparks in memory or really proud of?
I did one in Cairngorms in Scotland with hen harriers. I mean, the footage, I was shooting a DX2, no IS, so IBIS and things. So it was all a bit shaky and the images weren't amazing, but it was more the environment I was in. I was deep in the mountains, beautiful environment there. Hen harriers come back to breed. They've been absent because of sadly, lots of issues with hen harriers getting shot, poisoned, etc., due to the feeding on the grouse moors for shooting estates and things. But where they were in the Cairngorms was protected. It was owned by and protected by the National Trust for Scotland and other wildlife organisations. So for me, I was sort of travelled quite a way into the mountains and just in this valley. And the weather wasn't particularly great, but it also rained, but it was also had periods of sun. And I saw my first breeding, hunting hen harriers over the moorland there and the heath, and it was just amongst the heather. It was just magical. It just, I saw 2 male hen harriers, 2 ringtail females, and merlin and golden eagle overhead, and it was just like amazing. And I do actually sometimes when I miss home, I do watch that video sometimes, even though the images weren't great, the video wasn't great, but the experience of being there took me back. And it was just, and I think I put it one of my best days ever or something. And for me, it may not have done amazingly well, but for me, I look back at that and go, that's the excitement. That's why I do it. And I haven't lost any of that, an ounce of it. I'm still, it's the thing I love so much. So, but for me, that was probably the best. I think that was one of the best, I think. And in Canada, I think my favourites were the Algonquin ones, but they haven't done very well. So. But
we don't care about bears over here. We're like, eh.
Yeah, the weirdest thing, I was like, people saying, when are you going to see a bear? When are you going to see a bear? And I'm like, they're not like just down the road. That you have got to, they are around, but, you've got to travel. I mean, even in Algonquin, I think there's only like 2,000 bears there or something, and it's quite a big place. And there's 200 in Gatineau or
There
so.
were
Well,
there
not
were
200.
more
Yeah.
wildlife photographers in the park than there were bears.
Looking for
Yeah.
bears.
Looking for the
Are
bears. That's my
Yeah.
only downside to the Algonquin one itself is
Yeah.
like you definitely see a bunch of people kind of meandering and waiting, and it's kind of
Yeah.
more of you're just waiting for that time rather than stumbling upon a moment. You're
Yeah.
expecting the moment, and you're disappointed
Yeah.
potentially when you leave. Yeah,
I mean, I was quite lucky when I was there that it wasn't overly
yeah.
busy, and I met some lovely people when I was there. But I think I'm going back for the moose rut as well, and it's
Hmm.
probably going to be
Mm.
like very busy. Although
It
probably the
definitely
full
can
colours would
be.
have gone. Yeah, and that's always something that concerns me a little bit. But I would always walk away if it got too much busy.
Yep.
I
Yep.
wouldn't be bothered about the shots. I'd just go and find something on my own. So that you feel sometimes like a bit like a wildlife photographer paparazzi. You're kind of all lined
Sort
up,
of.
and that's something I don't like doing.
It,
And I had to
yeah.
I thought that was going to be the case when I went up there last time, but actually I was lucky. But then the week before and the week after were pretty bad.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I
because as
don't
soon as
like.
someone sees one, like it starts to get the crowds up there, and
yeah,
then typically it doesn't happen again, and it gets busy. Yeah,
it was quite.
and I remember last fall we went, and we were always in a spot that nothing was being seen, so we'd travel to the spot where it was seen, and then someone would show up and go, "Oh, you just missed it here." So we were always trying to chase what was seen rather than looking for what we could find.
Yeah,
And
it,
that's the
Here's a
bad thing about the networking and having so many eyes everywhere is now you're knowing what you've missed versus not ever
yeah,
knowing if you didn't see anything or not.
yeah. I mean, I was there for
Total
5 days.
sucky.
I got 4.5 minutes on day 2, and then nothing.
Hmm.
And on the final day, I obviously saw it in the morning for about, I don't know, 35, 45 minutes. And apparently I was up the far end and I came back down and there was another chap there and he was been waiting there all week, didn't see a bear. And there was a lady and her young son who was probably about 8 years old, and they were walking up the main track. And they said to people with all the lenses and stuff, all the photographers, "Oh, have you seen anything?" And they're like, "No, we're just looking for the bear." And he's like, "Oh, there's one down there. We've just been watching it for half an hour." This little 8-year-old and his mum, and they're like, "What?" They thought this kid was just like joking, and they went down there, and lo and behold, there was a nice bear feeding on the blueberries down the bottom. So it's kind of like,
That
yeah, it's
saved them.
just awesome though. He was over the moon, the little lad,
Of
and
course.
yeah.
then
Yeah.
the photographers went down, and thankfully everybody was really sensitive, and
That's
they
good.
took the images, and then a fox came through and flushed it off. And it was magical at the last bit, and everybody was really good. But then sadly, there was couple of weeks later, it got on socials with the bear with the heart on the chest, and
Yes.
it
Yep.
just
Yep.
in that particular place, and it just got manic apparently, and there was people
Yep.
corralling it in, and
Yep.
just like it got real bad. And I'm glad I wasn't there.
I've come to the
Yeah.
conclusion that if I have found out about a secret spot, it's not a secret anymore because I'm one of the last ones to know. So I
Yeah,
have
Mhm.
to like go to an area with a plan, like going to Algonquin in mid-July to August, looking for the bears in the blueberry patch. Like that's an idea.
mm.
What most people try to tend to act upon is there was one scene. Now's my time to go.
You gotta
Yeah,
go on
You,
eBay.
you know what I mean? It's a different eBay, yeah. It's a different kind of
yeah,
mindset where like it's nice to have an idea what you want to look for in the fall and then go to a spot that's known for them.
mm.
But a lot of the times you're right. If you don't put yourself in that position and put the effort in to be there for 5 days to maybe encounter and intercept one, then you're basically at home chasing what other people are seeing, and then when you get up there, you're probably not going to see it.
No,
It
I
happens
mean
far too often.
yeah, 10-hour days and minutes few glimpses, but then there was so much else going on there as well that it
Yeah.
never really. If I'd left and not seen one, I would have been gutted, but it wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been
Yeah.
the end of the
It
world
does.
to me.
It,
Yeah,
it does suck to hear that. Say you put in 10-hour days for 5 days. Let's just say it's 50 hours. I'm sure it wasn't 50 hours, but
Whoa.
40 or 50 hours. And then it's seen, and you put in the time, and then now everyone's coming up to find what you found for them.
yeah.
Yep.
It's
It's
part of
and
it, I
it's
guess. There's no escaping it, obviously, but
no,
it's an interesting concept
yeah.
on how it
I mean,
goes.
I think the only trouble, the only negative point of being there was just the, sadly everybody's picking too many blueberries. That was always a problem, but and
Yeah,
there's signs everywhere, and it's like people with proper
yeah,
like buckets and bins full of
yeah.
blueberries, but
There are so many. I'm not saying that
oh my
makes it
god,
okay, but
no,
there are
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
many.
Yeah.
I've never seen more
I-
blueberries in my life. Like, how many acres of blueberries?
Oh my
are there?
God. It was just, I mean, it was
Is there 100 acres?
insane.
No.
I didn't know
No,
that it
50
was so
acres
small. Yeah, I didn't know it was so small bush, but there was absolutely so
everywhere.
many of them, and they were
Yeah.
insane. I mean, there
I
was
never
enough,
did.
but
I never did find a spot that was like picked bare. Like it always, no pun intended, but
I was gonna
picked
say,
bare
ha.
to the point where it's like, oh wow, this one's clean. There was just so many everywhere, blanketing
yeah,
this old
yeah.
airfield.
It
My
just it must have been a good year for them, but
Yeah, I think so.
my wife's grandparents used to live in a small town in northern Ontario, and they kind of like backed onto some shield that had like low blueberry bushes just kind of covering it, and like routinely they'd wake up to black bears just like plonked sitting in
Yeah.
their yard just crushing blueberries
That's the
just in
place
their
to be.
backyard. Like it'd be so fun.
Yeah.
because you get them north of Toronto, don't you?
Oh
Do
yeah,
you
we
get
have
them?
bears. I have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, every spring I'll spot 4 or 5 bears. Usually a
When I
couple
say
that have
north, I don't
cubs.
mean like really far north, but you do get them fairly
Oh.
close, don't you?
Yeah, I'm only about an hour northeast of Toronto, and we have plenty of bear. You don't see them
Yeah,
nearly as often because they're not. The reason that I will go down to spots that are a little bit more acclimated with people, like for the wildlife habituated, is because it's easier to work with them. I can use a 135 lens in that sense.
yeah.
I can't really do that
35
very
mil.
often.
Get
I
right
can't
up
do
on a
that.
bit.
Like,
35.
yeah, 35 I need Disney World or something like that. Um, but up in this neck of the woods, like the reason I had the 800 was because a lot of the interactions and encounters up here were from such a far distance because they knew you were there long before you
Yeah,
showed up. And that's the case down in these more urban areas. It's just they don't care. They still know
no.
you're there long before you do. A lot of these issues, but they don't care, and that's kind of what I'm looking for is something that's a little bit more cooperative.
Do
I
Yeah,
you
think we
no.
all
do
are.
do
Yeah.
both of you like being the second person at a spot? So like if you're looking
No.
for something, no, like if you're looking for something and you see somebody parked up and they're taking a picture of whatever it is you're looking for, will you stand there with them or will you kind of move on
Well,
and find
I
your own?
will assume that he's doing astrophotography because it's still dark. He doesn't see
Because
anything
yeah,
because when I get to a place, it's still dark, and I'm
yeah,
waiting for half hour, 45 minutes for
you're
that
gonna make
first
me get
light.
up dumb early on
I
Sunday,
don't
aren't you?
I don't see anybody. Interestingly enough, there was a bird that was seen at a place that I went to, and the guy showed up and he goes, "What'd you see today?" And I told him, and he goes, "Do you come here much?" And I go, "Yeah, I come here quite a bit. I've been here like 5 weeks in a row, every weekend." He goes, "I don't think so. I've never seen you here." And I just looked at him. I go, and I'm gone long before you guys even show up because he was there at like 8:30. I'm usually on
Yeah,
my way home at this point. Like it's
Hmm.
first light for me, and it's gone. So I would rather be the first person at the spot, and I make sure I am.
yeah,
That's my answer.
yeah.
Long-winded
No,
answer, I
I mean
suppose.
every morning in Algonquin, I was the first there and last to leave, holding out for that last moment
Yeah,
when everybody's gone. That you get
yeah,
gifted with that because you do have that awkwardness where it's because you get the glance. You know, you're turning up. There's someone there, whatever they're photographing, small bird of prey, or whatever, or mammal, and you sort of they know you're there. They give you the glare, and it's like you don't want to spook it. So either I'll back off and just go away. Depends on what subject it is. Um, you still think, oh, it's a bit of a shame if it's something you want to photograph. Yes, if it's you kind of weigh up in that moment of do you back off, leave them to it, do you stay from a distance and enjoy it, or
Hmm.
what? But yeah, I mean it's a tricky one. But if there's a group of photographers there, we're talking
the
lots.
the
I just
further
Yeah,
I'd
yeah
360
I
and
won't be
go.
there
Yeah,
for that.
the
180 and
further
go.
south I go towards like the more urban, like the more apt I'm to have someone like lay down right beside me, regardless.
Mm.
Like they don't typically tend to care. They went out for a purpose to photograph, and if you're on something, they'll just kind of walk in on it. I actually had a friend when we were shooting on the weekend, a man with a big 600 or 500 millimeter prime laid down right beside him, and I was like, you know this
Teddy?
guy? And he like did, yeah. And it was actually he laid beside. I was laying with Teddy, and we were shooting this plover, and a guy laid down beside Keith, and Keith didn't even know he was there. He just like brushed up against him, laying beside him, and I'm like, hey, do you want to grab his ass while you're over there? I don't know if he liked that comment or not, but and then about an hour later, Teddy had someone put down a mat on the ground, like a yoga mat, and lay down right beside him. So
I hate
people,
that.
you know, people, I do too, because that's why I don't like being second, because I will not join something that's
No.
happening. It's just, I see a crowd, I kind of will observe from a distance what it is. I'll either come back later to see if it's still there when the crowd's
Yeah.
gone, or I'll move on to something else. That's just kind of my
Yeah,
thing. There's some other things to see.
Yeah, it's a bit like me, really. I'm kind of more like that. I think I like to share it, a moment to myself. Quite
Yeah,
happy with that.
that
But
is
I
so
very rarely,
important.
apart from going to a few places in Canada where there's like Algonquin and there's other people around,
Sure, sure.
most of
Make
the time I'm on my
exceptions.
own. Yeah, I prefer it that way. And even without results, you know, I'm sitting and waiting for stuff, looking for things, doing my field craft, doing my stuff with
Yeah.
trail cams and things. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, you know. But yeah,
2 years ago, I was driving home on the road I drive home on, and I'm always in the winter scanning everywhere for snowies, like no snowy owls. I I'm getting to the point now where I can kind of I'm 50-50 if they're far away, if it's a bucket or a snowy owl.
We all are.
One time it was a mop, which was insane, but
That was on purpose.
I
I
saw
bet they put it there
I
for
saw,
purposely.
literally it looked like it was that. It was leaned up against a fence post, and it was like got my lens, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, but anyway, so I see a snowy on the fence, and I'm like, all right, sick. And I pull over, and it's middle of winter, and I can't remember if there's a ditch before the fence. Like it's halfway into the field, but there's another fence like against the ditch or like the side of the road. So I wasn't gonna go into someone's yard, but I was like going to go up to the fence. So I pull over, get my camera, and I'm walking across flat snow. And then my foot breaks through, and I go dick deep in a ditch in snow. I got snow in my boot. I'm like kind of awkwardly there. But I'm like, well, I'm here now. I'm on my way home, so I'm just going to be wet, and I'll take a picture of the snowy owl. So I'm shooting the snowy owl. And I kind of want it to make, like, I'm being quiet. I'm low now because I'm shorter than I was 10 seconds ago. I'm kind of waiting for the snowy to maybe do something. It's sort of fluffed up. I don't know what it's going to do. I hear a car pull up behind me, and I look over, and this woman gets out, and she goes to her trunk, pulls out a full tripod, gets a backpack out, starts setting the tripod up, sticks it up, and but she sits it down, and I'm kind of looking at her like, are you kidding me? Like, frig off. As I turn back around, the snowy's flying across the field and just gone. So I asked her, I was like, did you see the snowy or did you see me standing here? And she's like, I saw you first. And I was like, you scared off the thing because you needed shots of this. Like, I was here first. I have dibs on this owl. I was mad. So that's why I was asking if you guys were like the second person, but I don't know.
So they didn't know what was there. They just knew you had a camera and was like, I'm ready.
What they're
I
looking
think
at,
they
yeah.
saw me, saw what I was looking at. Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to get your line of sight to see what was there, probably.
Right.
Yeah,
I can't say I haven't done that either, but I don't join. I could
No,
maybe do. I'd drive off.
I didn't do owls last year, and I didn't get any. In fact, I don't think I've taken any images of owls since I've been in Ottawa. Actually, only when I was in Toronto I did. But here last year, sadly because of the baiting problem here, by the time I got to see where the owls were, they'd already been. They've already been
The
sort of
greys,
baited
right?
up, and unfortunately, yeah, the
And
great
the
grey
snowies.
and the snowies and whatnot.
Yeah.
They've been what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word.
Habitualized.
Yeah, habitualized, I guess, and yeah, to the feeding side. So same with barred
Ruined.
owls and things. So I just kind of like, right, unless I find one on my own terms on my patch, then I'm just not going to go to anywhere because I just didn't want to do that really.
Yep.
But that will obviously happen in silly season, so hopefully I'll find them before it gets silly. But
the second person version that I do enjoy happened last year, where me and another guy who's named Kyle, we know of this park. It's not a, it's a park that's very popular, even for what I'm gonna say. So the last few years, there's been a barred owl that shows up in the wintertime. Everyone kind of goes looking for it, and it's not hard to find, but every owl is hard to find to a point. You got to kind of know where it sort of hangs out in the woods. And a couple times last year, Kyle was like, yo, like the owl's back at the park. I'm going to show up there. I want to go shoot this owl for a bit. And I was like, hell yeah, dude. So we went to the spot. I found him. It was one of the first times I met him. And we just kind of silently sat with this barred owl, which was actively hunting squirrels at the time. We watched it hop around different trees. I went back maybe one other day without Kyle. I told him I was going because like he told me about the owl. So I wasn't going to be like, I'm going to hog this owl for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm going back if you're around, like, want to do this. And like, just sitting in this woods with this owl, like you're not necessarily chasing it around. It can actively hop around. I had it with Kyle there. I was sitting on the ground and it was sort of far away on the ground and I'd gone after something. It flew at me and then up into a close tree between Kyle and I. And it gave me the old, like, around the tree kind of poke its head around and look at me.
Oh, nice.
It was like the coolest experience ever. And we were just,
Did you get a shot?
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And we didn't hardly say anything to each other, me and Kyle. We were just like, the only noise we were making was rustling in the leaves on the ground, trying to like get a better shot or position or whatever. But that's the kind of thing I like being a second person for. If you're both like that same kind of like ethical, we're just here for the bird, we're trying to enjoy this, like whatever it's doing, we're not gonna. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's the
worth...
second person one I like.
Yeah, it makes it worthwhile that way when you get a little moment like that, especially when it interacts with you and sort of comes close and you know that's really. I mean, I still haven't actually seen a barred owl yet.
They're my favorite. Oh, I love barred owls so much.
Yeah. Hopefully this year. There's one locally to me, but it's trying to find it. It's tricky.
Mm-hmm.
It can.
Yeah.
Be. It certainly can be.
The thing I try to tell people, I like being told where the first one that I find is, not because of like, oh, I found an owl, but I try to then look at what it's doing and where it's sitting. So I'm like, oh, it's sitting about 6 inches to a foot away from the trunk, about 2/3 of the way up in this type of tree, in sort of this distance from a clearing, this time of day. And that's the kind of starts that I keep track of. Yeah. So then I'll be walking through the woods and I'm like, this feels owly.
Yeah.
And then
you do get a sense of.
You do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It feels right. Yeah.
It's better than getting the spider sense that there's a group of people around the corner. You know what I mean? That's
right.
That's a little bit easier. Just to find an owl when there's a group of people just staring at it. You'll never actually learn this. You'll never have the spidey sense and get that, you know. I don't think a lot of people that would go to a place like that would think about the time of day, the location, the habitat, you know.
The crows screaming at him from the top of the tree.
It being called.
And jays, yeah. I mean, the thing is, I suppose, you do get the sense sometimes you do believe it doesn't always pan out to be right, but you do get that
90% of the time it doesn't.
And a lot of time it doesn't. But when it does, you're like, oh my God. You know, I think that's the thing about photography as well, that a lot of times, 95% of the time that just it doesn't happen. But when it does happen, you're like,
you think you're the smartest man in the world. You're
like,
I figured this out.
Yeah.
Nailed it. I've had so many like epiphanies, like I've figured out owls. And then I'll go like 6 weeks just skunked. And I'm like, this is bullshit.
Especially when and sometimes when I've filmed myself vlogging and I'm just like, this is definitely like a good habitat for whatever.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, literally, you suddenly see it and you go, oh my God, I never realized. And people think, yeah, really. But, you know, sometimes it's genuinely true.
You can
most
tell
of the time,
genuine,
if not.
I think.
And it's like, oh my God. Yeah.
The park that we're hopefully going to on Sunday, there's a female harrier that flies around. And like, I was walking on this trail the one day and I was like, I haven't seen the harrier yet. And I kind of came around a corner, it just went poof, and flew up from the trail. Like I was 6 feet away from her. I didn't even know. And I didn't even have time to like get my camera out. She took off over like these low trees. And I was like, dang it. Like I was that close. But she must have just been sitting there like watching me walk towards, like, is he going to come this way? And then
they're amazing. They're one of my favorite birds, Northern Harrier. Well, the hen harrier.
I was going to ask this. I was going to ask that earlier. Are they the same as like a buzzard and the red-tailed hawk would be?
So harriers, obviously, because you've only got the one harrier in North America. And it was actually,
I think so.
It was supposed to be up until I think it was the 1970s, maybe early 80s, it was classified, the Northern Harrier was called the hen harrier, and it was classified as the same species, but it was only until the late 70s they realised it was a separate species. So they do look very similar. And I've got a book here on birds of Ontario, and it's got the same Latin name as our hen harrier. but it's actually now got a separate Latin name because it
Oh.
is a different species. I think it's like marginally bigger, and I've only seen the females here, but then I went to Prince Edward Island and saw my first grey ghosts down there, and there's lots
Oh,
of them
you
there.
said it. I hate it. I hate when people call them grey ghosts.
Grey ghost.
I don't know why. It just
hold on,
itches
hold on,
my
Richard.
ears.
Hold on, Rich. But he will call snowy owls tundra pumpkins.
No
Tundra
way.
pumpkins.
So come on.
Yeah.
The
so
grey
don't
ghost
listen
is
I
to
know
better.
him.
I'm a hypocrite.
Don't
I'm
listen-
absolutely
he's
a hypocrite.
We're all hypocrites, but I
We-
just want to point it out.
We call it the grey ghost at home.
I do too.
Except that we spell grey right though, not the wrong way.
What's the right
EY?
way? E or A? I don't even know which one is right.
We have the E. We have the E, not the
The
A.
E.
But
Okay.
yeah,
I spell it.
I had a
differently
greyhound,
every
so I
time
called
I
it-
spell it.
Spelled with an E.
that's probably why the video didn't do very well. Is because I spelt it the English way, not the.
Ah.
Well, I spell it differently every time. I just decide that day if I'm gonna use A or E.
I literally
Yeah,
almost got hit by a gray ghost the other day. Cause like where I drive, it's all farm fields. Like I commute to the boondocks, and I see harriers all the time, but they're always 6 miles into the back of these
Yeah.
farm fields. But occasionally they'll rip over the road, and they're not high off the ground, so
No,
you can
they're
see them
low,
coming
yeah.
in. And they'll go whoop, like over the windshield or like right over the car, and that's really cool. I don't have
Hey,
time to
Kyle.
get out, but yeah, pretty much. Hi,
Go on.
you're never gonna get a shot of me.
That's
Yeah.
every gray ghost. There it is again. Experience I've ever had is.
I'm gonna name this episode "Gray
I'm
Ghost."
gonna get
don't
a
I?
shot. It's right beside the road flying. Oh, it's 20 acres away now. Like it's just
Yeah.
You in there,
happens
like,
so fast.
They move
You
so
just-
far and they don't
They
hang
do.
around. Once they come in
They're
and
not
do
even
their
really flying. Well, they're not flapping anyway, and they just
effortless. Yeah.
ugh.
You know what's an annoying game? Get a really far shot of one and like zoom in on it because it's definitely
always
looking
looking
at
at
you.
you.
Yeah,
They're
no, it's
always
like
looking at you.
peace.
I have like cropped in as far as I can on my camera at 800, like barely seeing his face, and it's
Yep,
like
just staring right at
me,
you.
and I'm like, this
Or
is
when it's so
bullshit.
far away, it's a ring-billed gull, and you're like, no.
Oh no, I only confuse
Oh.
those with snowy owls. That's my thing. When they fly above.
You're not good at those.
I love
The-
I love the tundra. Did you say tundra pumpkin?
Tundra
Tundra
don't.
pumpkin.
Richard, stop.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
not. Don't,
When they're
don't
sitting
make it
on
a
the
thing.
ground, I didn't come up with this. I don't know where I heard it, but when they're sitting on the ground, they're just like
Poor
this
snowy
little
owl.
mound. Yeah,
A tundra pumpkin.
the tundra pumpkin.
It's cute. I'll give
That's
it
the
that.
best
but
I've heard. That's
Yeah.
the best.
Jesus
That's the
Christ.
best nickname I've heard of a snowy
That
for
might
sure.
that's better than gray ghost. There you go.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I can't take credit for it. I don't know where I heard it, but I think it's cute. And I
It
think
is.
they're cute.
It's definitely got a cuteness about it.
Yeah. My first snowy. Actually one of the reasons Matt and I started talking was he had all these snowy owl pictures, and I was like, where, how, show me owl
3
Sherpa.
minutes from my door.
Yeah, just down the street.
Amazing.
He's like, yeah, they're just right
Just
there.
down the road from my house. Yeah.
But he's telling me stuff to look for or whatever. So I went out with my wife the one day, and we're slowly cruising the back roads up here, and I'm looking at this mound of snow, and I'm like, something about this mound feels different. It's not shining the same as the snow. It was like high noon, blue skies, like no cloud, middle of winter, and I stared at it for a minute or two, like lens and out lens, like I'm just, what? And then it goes like this, and stared at me. And I was like, oh shit, the mound of snow
It
moved.
does have eyes.
Yeah. It was sick, and I was like, oh, okay, like now I found
It's
one
smirking
finally.
At me. It's smirking at me with a mustache.
Yeah, they had that
I
little like
wonder if. I hope it's going to be a good year this year. I think.
I do
Hopefully.
as well.
Yeah.
I think my thinking is it is because last year kind of felt like a bump up year where it got
Mhm.
better, but it wasn't
Yep.
like that
Mm.
every 4 or 5 year peak. So I think this might be a good year. They came in early, but then they just
Yeah.
kind of dissipated. Came in hot and heavy.
Yeah, I would like to see. I mean, thankfully, I've got a few people locally that kind of trust me enough to sort of let me know and sort of come and join them on their patch to have a see them. Because I mean, I would like to see them before I leave. To see them here would be really, really good, especially in a snowy environment. You just can't beat it, really. And it's kind of like, everybody's seen. We've seen lots of shots of snowies on posts and bits and bobs in the lovely white backdrop in the background. But I would like to get my own one of those with the nice eyes. I think for me, that would be a hang on the wall picture at home, and it would bring back the memory of where I was. And so hopefully this year, hopefully I'll get to find them early before things change and it gets too popular. And
I gotta
maybe
get one
the
that's
shot.
not on top of a telephone pole. Like that's all of mine are on top of a pole.
Or on top of a tractor or some sort of truck in a yard or something.
Silo, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind a fence. A fence is cool. A low like cow fence would be cool. The ground is sometimes tough just for contrast. It's a white ground and a white bird usually, but
You gotta get really low. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that would be a good one. Hopefully, I wouldn't even care if it was a juvenile or a female or over the male, because over the male's obviously particularly white, but it would
I
just be
only
lovely
see
to
males. I don't get it.
Yeah.
We had this chat.
Maybe your range is just where you are. Just must be. And are they usually mostly white, like older ones? Because they might just get on territory before, like, and state claim.
The last, I was last year like I want to find a female. Like I only see, and I think it's the same one because there's a website called Project Snowstorm that has a couple that are tracked and tagged, and one was definitely one that I saw multiple times because you can go back and look at where it had hung out, and I was like, I definitely saw it that day and that day and there and that day. It's like
they track a few. They track a few at like Pierre Trudeau, like L.A. Trudeau, like that's Montreal's airport. They track a few that go to like Amherst down to Massachusetts. Massachusetts.
Massive two shits.
I can't say it. Massive two shits all the way down to Boston. And
there's one
it's
at
check it out. It's a
Ottawa
really cool
Airport
website.
as well. They go in there, I think.
Yeah.
I think
really
one
cool
that went
website,
to the Ottawa airport was one of the ones that was here, like the previous year. It just went, it went to a different spot when it came back. And I was like, that's kind of cool to also see.
Yeah, there's a good place down your way that particular snowy feeds on ducks on the marina. Every year it comes back, and it's apparently a unique adaptation that only that bird does, and it's learned to come there every year and feed on the ducks around the pontoons around the dock area. I shan't say where it is, but it's quite.
I know what you're talking about.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I heard about it. Apparently, they come back every year, but the year I was there, it wasn't there. I think it returned, but yeah, pretty cool though.
There's a funny video of a couple years ago. There's a bridge that goes over the harbor in Hamilton. I call it the Skyway or something like that. There was a snowy owl that was sitting on the edge of the bridge, and like there's a video of someone just driving past it, and it just like hopped off and took off. And I was in the middle of the night. I was like, that'd be so sick. You're just driving on the highway, and there's just the snowy on the side of this bridge.
Yeah.
So do you live in Hamilton then? Do you?
No,
Carl, no. Oh.
Norther than that.
Northwest.
I live about an hour north of Kitchener-Waterloo.
Oh, okay.
Ish. In the middle of nowhere.
You're in another. I'm in snowy country. You're in another snowy country.
Yeah. We always have this bet every year that never does anything. So who can see a snowy owl first? It's always Matt, but I'm not too far behind him usually.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see this year. I really hope to see it. Or maybe a great grey would be nice as well, but that's not always guaranteed, I don't think. But
it's more guaranteed. It's more of a not guaranteed, but it's more of a chance out in Ottawa where you are.
Yeah,
tends to be usually one or two that pop up most years.
I need to get to
I think
Amherst
there was 3 last year, but I think 2 of them were baited out of the third, and the third was quite elusive. The one that didn't get baited. Yeah.
Good on it.
So yeah, good on it. Hopefully I'll just be out doing the thing, and then suddenly there'll be one, and I'll get gifted for that moment. I won't have any vlogging kit with me, just a camera.
That's right.
Be like that woman who had it land right on the end of her lens there.
Lens. Yeah.
You've seen that story?
No.
There was a few. There's one that happened at that Saxon Bog last year. It's out in Minnesota.
No. Oh, maybe
Wisconsin, Minnesota. It's out that way.
Yeah, there was that article a couple years ago of this woman. There's a bunch of people were shooting one. I could have been baited and habituated, and I'm not really sure. Probably was, in fact, because it took off and landed right on this woman's, like, she had a monopod, I think, and I think she was even using the the Sigma EF 150 to 600, like the budget lens that everyone has as their first wildlife lens, just perched on it. And her friend took a photo with her cell phone of it standing there. She was just like, "Pfft," and it just kind of stood there for a little bit, looked around, and then hopped off and went
And
somewhere
then
else.
she didn't even get a picture.
She did previous,
Oh,
but
she
her
did.
friend got it like on her. I was like, this is so cool.
That is cool. I think one last year, Vania, just near here where I live, their one landed in someone's garden in one of the cedar trees. And they got a picture with a mobile phone, and I was out walking, and a guy showed me, his neighbour showed me a picture of a snowy owl in the tree. It must have gone in from the bad weather, just dropped down into a tree, and then left the following day. And it was a beautiful male. I was like, no way. Unbelievable. But luck of the draw, isn't it?
I saw someone, I think it was last year on a local bird group. They were like, what owl is this? And it was a saw-whet owl just in a bush by their like front window. Well, it was just probably stopped there for the night. And I was like, why can't I have a saw-whet outside my front window?
Me too. That's an elite owl in my opinion.
Yeah, that's up there.
Oh yeah, that is a good
get one
bird.
on Sunday. It would start my.
You think already?
Oh, no, I saw the first one I saw there last year was October 27th, and there was 2 of them. So I think we're still a little early, but
still a little early. At the
try.
Yeah.
It's not to say they're not moving in September, because they certainly
saw-whet
do, but it's
in the fall.
Well, I got it on a cedar last year that was changing color a bit. So it had some oranges and yellows, and it was still that cedary green. But I had it with the 100-400, and this year I have the 135, and I think the 135 is going to do a lot better in that situation.
Especially tight like that,
better. Yeah, so I'm kind of excited.
So you're going to go with that for the fall and winter? Are you the one lens, or you're not going to get anything? You see how you get on?
See, the thing is, I noticed that every experience that I liked with the 800mm lens was at MFD. It was at that 20-foot range. That's where I liked it. And I've realized that I like every lens at its MFD.
Yeah.
The interesting thing. So I'm really only looking for now, for the short-term future, encounters that kind of fall under those guidelines. If I could find a long-tailed duck that's going to be diving for mussels 15 feet in front of me, and I can use my 100-400, or I could use the 135 and do kind of medium and frame, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, sure.
The blue-winged teal that's 600 meters out, I'm going to let that one go.
Yeah.
Because that's what I started shooting with the 800. I'm going, I can get those shots. You can't get those shots. The working distances are nearly the same.
It's just shoot and work with what you've got, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
It's a challenge as well. It's an extra challenge. If you're into that, it's an extra challenge for you then to work for your shots and plan it more, because you have got restrictions there. It's kind of like, it's not like when you get spoilt with a 1-5 or you got a prime or whatever. You kind of, especially if you're shooting birds in the water and stuff. If you get something like that,
He did send me an eBay. You did send me an eBay link the other day, Matt. You're like, I want to make bad financial decisions. It was a 500 f4. So he's looking.
I'm not saying like a 300-2.8 or a 500 f4 isn't in the future. It's just, we'll mess around with these lenses and see what we can do. I have to lose. I just do this as a hobby.
I like the way you do that. I think that's a really good way of doing it, and it sort of you work for your photography more like that. And I think it certainly gives you because we're all wildlife photographers are always going at ridiculous focal lengths. It's nice when you restrict yourself to and see what you can get away with. Sometimes I wish I could just go out with, and I was thinking of doing something like a video, going out with very short focal length, even a 100mm macro lens, and just going out and see what I can get with it. Shoot for the day and see what images I come back with.
That's a great idea.
I'm going to take this on Sunday and see what I can do with this.
That's a little nifty one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
it's a great idea. It's a very cool concept.
You should. Yeah, because at the moment, if I think go out and take a couple of lenses with me, I'm pretty much sport for choice and I'm covered. But I think sometimes it's nice to set yourself a little challenge there. Yeah. I think it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's inspired me to do that now. I think I should do that more.
There we go. Bam.
Which is crazy because a year ago I would have said you're crazy.
Yeah.
I would have said stop the nonsense.
Well, a friend of mine said he wants to challenge me to do a film camera with a 36 exposure with and go out and see what we can get with literally a small, quite a small focal length, and see what shots we come back with when we get them developed. There's a challenge.
That is a challenge. It's that's above my pay grade.
Yeah.
Having never shot film, like I would get 0, like nothing.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's a
Tough
whole
back
different
in the
beast.
day.
Film. I would just like hear the financially bad decisions every time I take a photo. I'm like, that's costing me money.
Ooh.
That's costing me.
What's that going to be like? Yeah, I mean, even shooting with some of the old digitals, the first ones, you shoot with those, it's hard. It's really hard. You realize how spoilt we are now. But
I think peak photographer is Kingfisher on film. I don't think you can get better than that.
Yeah. Yeah, belted on film. Yeah.
Belted Kingfisher on film would be
like frame filling.
Unless they're juvenile.
Like I could get an Kingfisher 600 miles away.
Yeah, that was a Kingfisher, I swear.
I swear, yeah, that blur.
Like that. Yeah, they'll be leaving here soon. Well, they're already probably gone, most of them. But yeah,
I don't know about that. One of my pictures
tend to
is in the winter.
like slightly.
Yeah, if they can find somewhere that doesn't freeze. Yeah.
Actually,
would be a cool idea.
You reminded me of something I wanted to say earlier. When you're talking about watching the loons take off when they see or ducks and stuff when they hear or see a bald eagle. There's a spot in Cambridge where this river, there's like bald eagles like to nest around the area, and there's a water treatment plant that's kind of pumping warm water into this one spot. So there's this open corner that kind of stays open, and all the golden eyes, all the mergansers, and all the everything gets like stuck in this one spot. And there's a kingfisher that usually hangs out in that same spot over winter, and I got kind of a cool shot of one in the snow.
Oh, awesome!
But when the bald eagles fly over, it's so awesome seeing like 200 ducks just take off all at the same time, because you get the golden eyes like beep, 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 like taking off, and you hear the mergansers smacking on the water when they're taking off, and they're all just like scattering, and there's this bald eagle flying around. I just love it.
You get some lovely effective shots of slow show shutters and even video in like slow-mo and stuff. I mean, just be incredible getting those shots. Getting one
chaos
in,
is,
get one
chaos
shot.
Is great for slow-mo.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, now I'm inspired to do that. You're inspired to shoot with one lens.
See?
Matt, what are you going to do?
Conversation gets you.
One lens photography.
Yeah, that's all I'm doing.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm cheating. My one lens is 200-800, so it doesn't count.
We're playing with house money, so
I bet you'll get more. If I went out with my 800 f5.6 and you went out with your short focal length, I bet you'd get better results than me for pleasing sort of storytelling pictures rather than what I've got.
You're talking like your 800 5.6 is like sloppy Joe meat. Like it's a pretty damn good lens. Like
don't talk shit about sloppy Joes.
It's a very good lens.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, certainly the research on it, but I couldn't pass up an option like that because of the price and yeah, it was just like silly not to. And yeah, the RF unfortunately is the RF version. Obviously, is way beyond my capacity.
And if you're gonna go that far, you might as well just go 1200, right?
Yeah.
If you're going, you might as well just go with the extra.
Why not?
If you're going RF already and 800, just go to 12.
That's
Call
insane.
up NASA, rent the Hubble.
1200,
isn't the 12 just like have two TCs like just welded onto it?
Probably.
Isn't it something weird like that? They've done.
I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, you talking about the EF one, or are you talking about the
RF? It's basically
there's an RF 12 now.
Yeah,
I think there's an RF 1200 F.
Who's shooting that?
It's an F8. Yeah, I think a friend of mine, in Canada, he's shot with it. I don't want to keep name dropping, so I won't say.
Go
but
ahead.
It's fine.
Just
so John Marriott down in Canmore, Alberta. Yes. John, he had it from Canon on loan, and it's just a whopper. And it's actually, I think it's lighter than my 800 EF. I think I don't quite sure on the weight, and he got some magical stuff with that. But I mean, jeepers, it's like shouge.
Yeah,
absolutely shooting with a tuba.
I think it's like 26,000 before tax or something.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah,
I
mean,
American.
I'm not sure. I was going to ask Canon for a loan, so if they loan me it for a week, but I'm not sure they'll let it go.
You never know. It's one of those niche.
Well, they only
ones,
have
they might
one?
Just have one laying around. They may
Yeah,
only have one.
It's not on the drop-down list for a loaner. So
Oh, interesting. You're gonna be a
yeah.
super special person.
800's
Gotta be
on there,
Peter
though.
McKinnon or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if
Reach out
you're
to
some big hitter
reach
like
out to
that,
Vince.
you'd be all right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Right
man.
on.
Well, Richard, I had so many questions for you, and you answered them all in like the first 10 minutes of your spiel.
Oh, sorry.
So... No, that's good. It wasn't as formal as I expected, but you covered them all in the first 10 minutes, and we were able to at least get to more of a personal level, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
so
been
I like
nice.
that.
It's been good.
Yeah, it's always a
Good
good
to
time.
catch up, have a chat, and just sort of, shoot it a little bit, and just tangents are good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's half of our show is just like, oh yeah. That reminded me.
We expect that most people just show up to just hear us catch up, and that's all
Yeah.
we're looking for.
Yeah.
If you get
Good bit
something
of-
out of the show, great. If
Yeah.
not, I hope you laughed a little or something.
Yeah,
hope so.
exactly. Yeah.
Everyone will laugh at my long-eared or long-tailed duck impression.
That was good, and
That was pretty good.
and the tundra
Tundra
pumpkin.
pumpkin.
It's not
The
gonna
tundra
leave me now.
Yeah, I'm glad I could leave you with something.
Name of the episode?
Tundra pumpkin?
Yeah.
Grey Ghost.
I don't know.
Either
Oh,
that
I
or-
may- Oh, it could be Grey Ghost versus Tundra pumpkin.
People are like, I've got to watch it. What does that mean?
Like, what the hell are they talking? I think placebo wedgie was one of the ones people were like, what the hell is a placebo wedgie? That was a
when
good
your
one.
ass cheeks are so cold, you think you have wedgie.
Yeah.
Just so you don't have to go back to that episode.
Oh,
we're
I like
coming
that.
into that. We're coming into that time of the year again.
Yeah, won't be long.
All right.
No. I think, yeah. I don't do this often enough, but whoever is out there listening, please like, comment, subscribe, and do all that jazz that YouTubers like Richard probably say in their videos. Whose turn is it to start? I guess it's the guest's turn.
It's Richard's turn to start the
Did we
music.
make you start the
Do you
music
have
last
anything-
time,
Do you have
Richard?
anything to promote, Richard, before we go?
Yeah.
YouTube. I will have that all in the description anyway. but
Yeah, just
anything?
put it all in
Okay.
the description. That's fine. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
But
right.
usual thing,
Easy
Insta,
enough.
YouTube and stuff. But yeah, cool.
See, isn't he such an easy guest?
Yeah, that's it. That's the reason we've had him on twice, because he's easy.
I'm just here for a chat, just to have a laugh, and not
So are we.
not plug
Amen.
myself.
Yeah. That's all we're here for.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's been a pleasure, guys. Thanks very much.
No problem.
Excellent.
Anytime you want the music to start, just say start the music.
Start the music.
Boom.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining.
Awesome. Lovely
All
having
the
you,
best,
Richard.
guys. Thanks very much. Take care. Cheers.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Capturing all them trends, peeping through the scope, freeze frame the fly, Angry Bird Pod Show, aiming for the sky. Oh, they click in the snap, see the birds on the map, Angry Bird Pod Flow, flipping through the recap. Kyle and Matt, dropping wings on blast, tune in next week, this one never in the past. Eagles, hawks, and kestrels, flying so divine, peep the live broadcast, podcast goldmine, twisting in the air, birds of every kind, critics gonna chirp, but they ain't ever dying. Zooming in on sparrows, robins in the mist, Matt's got the shutter, Kyle's got the twist, feathered friends in flight, equipped with the strut, Angry Bird Pod Show, capturing the cut. Oh, they click in the snap, see the birds on the map, Angry Bird Pod Flow, flipping through the recap. Kyle and Matt, dropping wings on blast, tune in next week, this one never in the past. On the twilight, watch the colors flash, birds of every shade in a photogenic dash. No need for fame, just the birds flying free. Angry Bird Pod Show, bringing all the glee. Oh, they click and they snap, see the birds on the map. Angry Bird Pod Flow, flipping through the recap. Kyle and Matt, dropping wings on blast. Tune in next week, this but never in the past. Eagles, hawks, and kestrels, flying so divine. Keep the live broadcast, podcast gold mine. Twisting in the air, birds are back, so vibrate Matt, dropping wings on blast. Tuning in next week, this but never in the past. In the past. Tuning in next week, this but never in the past. In the past. Zooming in on sparrows, robins in the mist, Matt's got the shutter, Kyle's got the twist, feathered friends in flight, equipped with the strut, Angry Bird Pod Show, capturing the cut. from dawn to twilight, watch the colors flash. Birds of every shade in a photogenic dash. No need for fame, just the birds flying free. Angry Bird Pod Show, bringing all the glee. Oh, they click and they snap, see the birds on the map. Angry Bird Pod Flow, flipping through the recap. Kyle and Matt, dropping wings on blast. Tune in next week, this one never in the past. From the past. Not shortcut. Not shortcut. Angry Bird Pod Show, bringing all the glee. Bringing all the glee.